Viewer Noah DeJong writes, which actor or actress would you bring back from death so they can make one more movie? His choice is Philip Seymour Hoffman.
That's a great choice. Mine is John Belushi.
Oh.
And I think that if we brought him back from the dead, it might save his life. Because he had cleaned up when he did Continental Divide. And that movie bombed. He was filming Neighbors at the same time that it bombed. That movie was horrible, and the entire process was horrible. He went back on the drugs, died soon thereafter. If he did one more really quality movie, he could have survived.
Sure.
But would that have meant that Robin Williams would have died? Or Robert De Niro? Because both of those guys cleaned up their act after Belushi died. And then maybe we'd have John Belushi starring in...
Patch Adams.
Patch Adams, yeah.
I've got a bunch of movies that I've never seen before. You don't know what they are. Every episode, I'm going to spring one on you. It might be good. It might be bad. We'll watch it and talk about it. Welcome to the basement. Today, we bid farewell to a busy April. We've had 3 episodes this month. Normally, we only have 2.
That's the magic of calendars.
I didn't assign a theme to April, but a theme emerged anyway. Oscar-winning leading men. We had Nicolas Cage in Left Behind, John Wayne in The Conqueror, and tonight's leading man. With his icy blue eyes and easygoing charm, he's been enchanting audiences for decades, even though he has passed on. Do you know who I'm talking about?
Henry Fonda.
Oh, I'm sorry, the answer is Paul Newman.
That was my other choice.
And the movie? The hard-skating, tooth-punching hockey comedy, Slapshot.
You've never seen Slapshot!
If I let this go for a few more years, I'd have to hand in my guy credentials. Released in 1977, starring Paul Newman and the not-yet-dead character actor M. Emmett Walsh.
Still not dead.
This film was directed by a frequent Newman collaborator, George Roy Hill. Considered to be the quintessential guy movie, it's ironic that the screenplay for this was written by a woman.
Really?
Nancy Dowd, who based the story in part on her brother Ned Dowd's experience playing minor league hockey in the 1970s. And Paul Newman claimed that of all the movies that he made, this was his favorite.
He never saw Cool Hand Luke, I guess.
Any hockey player will tell you that their ultimate dream is the Stanley Cup, hockey's highest honor. I think it's high time that you receive an honor, Craig.
Hey, what's this? It's an award.
Congratulations.
There's nothing on the base or the cup.
I think you'll find that there's decals there that you can adorn your award, personalize it.
Oh, all right.
Which one would you pick?
I would have to say you did it. There are some things I've actually accomplished in my life, and this is going to commemorate it.
Tweet! Player number 24. I accuse you of high sticking. Go over to the penalty box that is the old leather couch, and you can't leave until we're done watching Slapshot. I am ready to be slapped and shot. And now, a short little speech from General Patton. Slapshot begins with the goalie of the local hockey team, the Chiefs, being interviewed. His name is Denis.
Dennis, I know that some in our audience don't know the finer points of hockey.
Especially me, because I am a nerd. The Chiefs are facing off against the Presidents.
A young John Bon Jovi.
An old Paul Newman.
Reggie Dunlop is the coach, captain of the Charleston Chiefs.
And then, of course, there's Ned Braden.
And he's the weirdest one of them all, because he went to college, and he's rich.
They lose. The Chiefs are losing to the Presidents, just like during the Trail of Tears. Is there something less tasteless I can say that...
Well, it's all tasteless. The Chiefs are the losingest hockey team in their league.
We meet Joe McGrath, the manager of the Chiefs.
I can't hear you. I believe we have a failure to communicate.
Their home city, Charlestown, has fallen on hard times, and it's looking like the mill might close.
Reggie knows that when the mill closes, the hockey team will fold right afterwards.
The Chiefs are getting 3 new players from up there in Canada. They are the Hanson brothers. Don't call us 12 Eyes.
You guys are Hansons.
Fucking machine took my quarter.
And everybody thinks these guys are losers. They're freaks.
I was coaching in Omaha in 1948, and Eddie Shore sends me this guy that's a terrible masturbator. You know, couldn't control himself.
That's my favorite story. Someday I hope to develop a one-man show based solely on masturbation tales. I'm gonna call it History's Great Masturbators.
Ned is married to Lily. Lily does not like being stuck in this backward steel town, and so she's kind of drinking her way into oblivion.
You think that lady in the red dress will go home with me?
No, she's not your type.
How much?
$5, don't even look at your face.
Oh no, I have to pay the $5. Reg and his wife Francine are also having problems. They're thinking about getting a divorce. The Chiefs are getting ready to face off with the Gears, and they hear about this goon named Ogie Oglethorpe, who's supposed to be this really violent player, but he's been suspended. Everyone breathes a sigh of relief. For now. Ned overhears McGrath on the phone, and he finds out that the mill is in fact going to close, and the team is in fact going to fold. In the locker room, the Hanson brothers continue to be weird. These weirdos couldn't possibly be good hockey players.
Jared, stick 'em! Fuck 'em, Christ, pop 'em! Yeah, sure, let's go! Come on!
Look at their glasses.
That's what we're here for, guys, to win.
It's fucking embarrassing.
Their enthusiasm. I hate it. And they lose this game.
What's wrong, Rich?
Oh, nothing.
You got an expression of sadness on your face.
I'm not autistic, if you're wondering. I can identify emotions. That night, Reggie gets a call. It's from a rival's wife,
Who he's had a fling with in the past.
so he goes to hang out with Mrs. Hanrahan in a naked way.
She confides in him that lately she's been enjoying the company of ladies in the boudoir.
I don't know why, really.
I think that is the mom from Christmas Story. Put those breasts away, you're gonna shoot my eyes out. Reggie goes and talks to his buddy Dickie Dunn, a reporter.
There's a community down in Florida. They're looking for a hockey team.
It's all made up.
Dickie takes it hook, line, and sinker, and he puts it in the paper.
Come on, Chiefs. Skate on the ice. Win the game. During their next game, Reggie decides to go to Hanrahan and mess with his mind, psych him out. And he tells him,
She's a lesbian! A lesbian!
It's pretty handy. It causes Hanrahan to leave his post, and the Chiefs win the game.
Reggie continues to intimidate the other team with trash talk.
Minnesota dropped you.
And your wife is asexual. And he continues to score points and win games. The Hanson brothers finally get into a game.
Show us what you got.
The Hansons are unleashed. They got the high stick in, they got the hook in, they got basically everything you're not supposed to do. And even a little bit of this.
Take that, Kenny Loggins. The crowd loves these geeks. And when I say geeks, I mean in the old circus sense, where they bite the heads off the chickens.
If only Reg could figure out who the owner is of the team, he could sweet-talk the owner into maybe selling instead of folding.
The Peterborough Patriots versus the Charlestown Chiefs. Brought to you by Sheehan's Rustproofing.
The most Irish rust-proofing in the eastern seaboard. Sheehan's Rust-Proofing. They have brought rust-proofing secrets over from the old country. Sheehan's.
Aaron Go Rust.
In their next game with the Patriots, the game doesn't even start before the violence does.
I run a clean game here. I have any trouble, I'll suspend you. I'm listening to a fucking song!
When they get to Hyannisport, they find protesters.
They have the classic way to tell protesters off.
Butts.
Just like that. That's what Nixon did back in the 60s.
In the next game, they take the violence out into the crowd, and there's a big brawl in the stands. After the game, the cops arrive.
Hi, guys.
We're a group of those hot stripping cops. I think we have the wrong locker room.
They bail out the Hansons and head back home to Charleston.
Why is there a Nazi?
I don't know. They get a following like Joy Division.
Hey, Lily! Hey, Lily!
Hey Lily, hey Lily, halo, halo.
Reggie has a heart-to-heart with Lily.
You gotta clean up your act a little bit. You're a beautiful woman. And he's all flirty and a little bit creepy in that way that guys were back in the 70s, but also kind of super charming because he's Paul Newman.
Reggie meets with McGrath.
It ain't mean enough. Put some blood in there. Or get some tits in there. Put a for sale sign on the bottom.
I don't want any tits and I don't want any for sale sign.
In that order. and he has a little memory about an incident that he witnessed years and years ago.
I went up to your room afterwards and you were dressed in chick's clothes.
And Reg knows that he's got him under his thumb.
Who's the owner, Joe?
During a radio interview before their next game.
Reg, that was some road trip for the Chiefs.
And that is some shirt. It's quite ugly, even by our standards of our current time.
I'm placing a personal bounty on the head of Tim McCracken. He's the coach and chief punk on that Syracuse team.
The Kraken.
That punk endangered Perseus on his quest. That no-good crumb bum destroyed Argus. During the game with Syracuse, Killer gets Kraken and gets McCracken. Nice.
And as I am their friend, thrust home.
A hit! A palpable hit! Braden doesn't like all this violence and theatrics. He thinks he should just play hockey like old-time hockey players. Braden is benched.
Lily gets a makeover from Reg's wife.
You were married to him for about 100 years.
In Brigadoon.
Reg meets with Anita McCambridge, the real owner of the Chiefs.
Where's your husband?
He's in puppy heaven.
She's married to a dog?
No.
Someday I will find the perfect matching leather jacket and pants set, and I will wear it unironically. She's going to let the team fold because that's going to be more financially viable for her.
She tells him to buzz off. He tells her to buzz off. You know they're not actually saying buzz. They're using much harsher language.
Jesus Christ, what a fucking nightmare.
Reg heads down to the stadium. All these people are outside. They're fighting each other. They've gone blood simple.
This is our championship match, and we're going to play clean.
Ned shows up. He's like, this is good. This is good. We're going to play the game straight.
This has all the earmarks of a hockey
Game. I have never seen one before. I'm looking forward to it.
They finally installed a window in my booth.
But what they don't know is that the Syracuse team has filled their roster up with ultra-violent ringers.
The biggest goons in the history of hockey.
Like this guy, and this guy, and this guy. And Chekhov's Ogie Oglethorpe. He's finally showed up, and he's ready to punch some faces. Before the game can even start, the Syracuse team is on the offensive. But the Chiefs stick to their word, and they don't fight back. They get the crap beat out of them.
Joe comes in and gives him a little pep talk. Play the game already.
Every scout in the NHL is out there tonight, and they're looking for talent.
I should have told you this at the start of the game. And out on the ice, it's a bloodbath. It's not even a hockey game anymore. Francine and Lily arrive, and Lily is looking real pretty. Ned gets a load of her, and he falls in love all over again. Going? He does a little skating routine and a little taking off clothes routine.
That Braden is starting to take off articles of his uniform.
Adding some much-needed eroticism to the bloodshed. He should have had some hockey shorts that had the snaps down so he could just... The Chiefs think it's funny.
Way to go, Ned.
The Syracuse guys get angry.
Stop that! That's disgusting!
There ain't no rule in the book says a man can't strip on the hockey court.
There's some pushing and shoving, and suddenly the ref says,
You forfeited the game. The cup goes to the Chiefs. The Chiefs win. Look at our boys.
Come on, everybody strip. I've always wanted to see Paul Newman nude. Later on, there's a parade to celebrate the Chiefs' victory.
Lily and Ned are back together.
Reggie and Francine finally decide that it's time for them to get a divorce and move on.
Hockey! You did it, Matt.
I did.
You watched Slapshot.
If you're normal,
Then normal is fucked.
Slapshot.
Is there anyone normal in this movie? Everyone's normal. They're just it's a movie about real people.
The
Normal.
Hanson brothers?
The Hanson
You're calling them normal?
The 70s allowed cameras to be put on people that wouldn't be allowed near a camera. They wouldn't be allowed in a camera
You're
store.
saying they look like normal people.
They look like normal
They look
people.
like America. They look like humanity. As far as personalities go, everybody's far from normal. Including the Hanson brothers, where I can't imagine how they were dreamed into being. I can't imagine how they were written.
I quit. I don't want to play no more. You broke the darn car. How am I supposed to play? Big baby.
How did they find those guys? How did those guys decide on those performances? Are they doing performances?
I don't think they're actors. They're famous. Like in the hockey world, these guys are gods.
They're probably more famous and beloved than 80% of actual hockey players. What's striking to me is the profanity. Because even by today's standards, this is a very profane movie.
I think there's equally as profane movies.
But this still seems particularly gratuitous.
It seems special. Watching a movie from the 70s, when they're swearing, it seems dirtier because at the time it was dirtier to swear.
Yeah.
Just like when you see nudity in a movie in the 70s, it seems more naked than it does now.
And I think that's one of the reasons why a lot of critics sort of were lukewarm about this, because they thought it was really funny, but it was too dirty.
Takes everything you're supposed to have in a sports movie, crumples it up, and throws it away.
They don't actually win the game.
They don't actually win the game.
The other team forfeits because they're so outraged by a nude man.
Yes.
He doesn't get his wife back.
Yeah.
She ends up leaving him for good.
They don't give the town hope. They give the town permission to vent their rage. Eventually, the townsfolk are beating up each other in front of the stadium.
So you think this movie sends mixed messages?
I think that is the message. You know, sports are gladiator matches.
Huh.
And they're there to release our bloodlust. And you can have good games and you can be good sports, but sometimes you just need to watch people hurt other people. Yeah.
That seems quite negative.
What's the most interesting moment in baseball? When they rush the mound and there's a big brawl on the field. It's like, oh, I went to see the game last week. Everyone beat up everybody. Why do you go to NASCAR?
I don't.
Why does hypothetical you go to NASCAR?
Hoping that they crash?
Yeah.
I'm not sure that that's really the case, though. If a NASCAR crashes, they're probably going to die. And I don't think people are going out there saying, I hope someone dies.
Yes.
I'm sure some very shitty people go out and do that.
Yes.
I think it might be a bit of a cynical view of this movie, but maybe you're right. I can't really tell. I just finished watching it 10 minutes ago. So, you know, it's hard to figure these things out with just our immediate reactions.
Yeah. It seems as though there is a war in the movie between the feminine and the masculine. Early on in the movie, they're doing fashion shows. They hate doing that, but they love the blood sport. The ice dance he does at the end of the movie is very feminine as well, or very sensual, but repulses like the other team to forfeit the game.
Yeah.
Because there's someone who is acting feminine.
So this is your second time seeing the movie?
Yeah.
How is the experience now as opposed to when you first saw it?
I'd have to say that the main thing that changed for me was my appreciation of the Hansons. Oh my god, these guys are really good. Every single one of their line deliveries has something special to it.
Yeah.
Buy a soda after the game?
This movie just seems funnier the second time.
Here's an interesting bit of trivia about Paul Newman.
Yes.
As you know, he was a dedicated political activist his whole life. He protested the Vietnam War and up through Newman's Zone and all of that. Apparently, he was number 19 on Nixon's enemies list. And it's something that he said he considers his greatest accomplishment.
I helped a lot of kids with cancer. That's number 2.
What do you think Nixon's reaction to Slapshot would be?
Oh, if only he didn't make such good salad dressing. Oh, it's not profane enough. I need them to say more. I'm a regular Dan Hedaya over here in my Nixon impersonations.
Final thoughts on Slapshot. Don't take off your clothes. Don't do it. You're not wearing skates, Craig.
I don't care. I'm doing the rest of the show without my jacket on.
Oh, well.
Oh, no. This is wrong. This is wrong. I don't feel safe.
Are you quite done?
Yes, I am. Thank you, Matt.
Why don't you slash and hook your way all the way to the goal of our website, welcometothebasementshow.com. There's a PayPal donation button you can click on. You can donate some money to our show, and you can watch our episodes. Donors such as
Rebecca, who writes, I watched The Straight Story after you talked about it. When the movie got to the Deer Woman, I realized it was my acting professor in college, Barbara Robertson. She told us she'd been in a Lynch movie, but I'd forgotten which. Here's to you guys for bringing me that revelation. Well, we're happy to do that for you, Rebecca.
Yes, and thank you for your generous donation. If you'd like to find out who the rest of our donors are and the contents of our mailbag, it's a lot this week, you can join us for Welcome to the Basement unboxing this coming Friday.
Those boxes aren't going to open up themselves.
And now it's time for Seeing It. Let's get out there. Let's see it.
Yeah, Seen It.
Let's see it.
Seen It.
Well, tonight's movie was a little lowbrow, and so for Seen It, we're going to get a little literary with some Seen It Reddit. Movies that were based on books that we have either seen the movie or read the book or both.
One of us has seen the movie, one of us has read the book.
That's not always the case.
You decide. Kevin Macy writes, Fantastic Mr. Fox. Seen it.
I was surprised at how dark the book is. Mm-hmm. It's also a rather bare-bones story. And so I really liked how Wes Anderson took the story and personalized it and fleshed it out and made it more of a comedy. He put in anachronisms that were charming rather than grating or Shrekky.
Shrekky. I felt distant from the entire thing, and of course that's always a possibility when you're talking about Wes Anderson. He's either going to lure you in and just hold on to you with his weird storybook worlds and perfect symmetry and everything, but I just felt I'm not in with this.
I'm not feeling it.
I'm not feeling it. This is a good Wes Anderson movie, but I don't think it's one of his best.
KGB Agent Smith writes, have you seen Ironweed? It's a depressing, hopeless movie about a couple of homeless drunks set during the Great Depression. Seen it.
Read it. I have seen parts of it.
I have not read the book.
I saw the bit where she sings the song.
Oh.
Yeah, and I'm really happy my mom was there because I was watching. Like, it gets to the end of the scene, it's like, I don't think my mom would like it if I committed suicide right in front of her.
I really hesitate to call any movie depressing, no matter how sad it is, because generally there's some sort of uplift or there's something that you can take away.
But
this movie has artistic merit, but it is genuinely a depressing experience. Yeah. You leave it feeling awful.
Nullify writes, there's only one movie that made me cry, and that is Gary Sinise's Of Mice and Men. Seen it. I seen it.
And I've also read the book. I understand that you've gone even further.
I've read the book. I've read the play. I've seen the play.
It's a really great book for high school students because it really teaches you about decency. It teaches you about selflessness and just not being an asshole.
Yeah.
And those are really important lessons for high schoolers to learn. And it's also, at the same time, it's no fairy tale. It's a Depression-era book. It's very morally ambiguous at times, and it's so short.
The play came first, and he adapted the play into the novel. So,
I didn't know that.
Yeah. I think the most amazing thing about this movie is John Malkovich, who is, is such a refined person in life, playing such an innocent, playing such a simple person, mentally simple person.
And such a hulking presence.
Yeah, he's huge.
That really speaks to his gifts as an actor. I saw him in another movie, a more recent movie. I believe it is called Cut Bank, where he plays a small-town sheriff.
Yeah?
You wouldn't expect that either, but he totally sells it. And you never look at him once in the movie and think that's John Malkovich. Alexander Pascal, greetings from Greece. Just did the 7-day movie challenge, now known as the Cinema Immersion Tank. I picked Noah from 2014. Have you seen it? You watched Noah for 7 days in a row? You, sir, are a trooper.
You don't like this movie.
I never said that.
Well, you said it. You basically implied it to me. You're part of the reason I didn't see the movie. We had the same thing with Kick-Ass. You're like, no, I love Kick-Ass.
You are misquoting me again. I never said I loved Kick-Ass, and I never said I hated Noah.
All right, go on.
Noah is a fantastically stupid movie. And its level of fantasticness and its level of stupidity are just about even.
I loved it. I thought it was amazing. Within 15 seconds, I was laughing. I'm like, oh my god!
Of course you're laughing. You're laughing throughout the whole thing. It's a great comedy, but totally unintentional.
Noah is, of course, the Bible story that gets kids into the Bible.
Okay.
It's all about animals, and he's saving the animals. Well, if you're expecting the little kids, like the children's story, no, you're not getting it. You're getting Aronofsky's story about the end of the world and the man who has to kill it all. My Christian children, I'm going to take you to see a movie where Noah does peyote so he can figure out what to do that his old crazy grandfather gives him.
It's so dumb. Every line, they're all so serious.
It's all so serious, but
it's a scream.
I think we differ on this.
I'm not sure we do. I think we see eye to eye on this. I mean, if you like So Bad It's Good movies like The Room and things like that, you'll love Noah.
If you like a movie that's so good it's bad, you'll like Noah.
Oh, that's an interesting way to put it.
Yep. Coined it. Copyright Craig Johnson.
That's Seen It.
And that's our show.
Slapshot. What a good time we had, and we hope you had a good time too. Episode 99 in the can.
That's right.
And that means our next episode is our 100th episode. What a milestone! As we did for episode 50, I am going to let you, the audience, choose the movie that we watch. Tell us which movie you think we should watch for our 100th episode and why, very important, and why, and put them in the comments for this video. And I will choose one of them, and that will be the movie we watch for episode 100.
That's a lot of responsibility you got. Can you handle it?
So we're looking forward to seeing your comments, and we're looking forward to seeing you next time. Good night.
Good night.
You don't have my number.
You know my name. Look up the number. You know my name. Look up the number.
I'm watching a movie.
Not a music fan?
Nope.
I'm looking at a fucking song!